Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review, episode 179. This is being the 109th episode of the anime, Victor's Conspiracy, Victor's Scheme. And chapter 53, that's really... Yeah, this one is entirely focused on Victor and Kara. Wow. And it's almost like this episode is just kind of like something they probably would have had planned for the manga, because from the stuff they have in this episode, it's kind of like it's set up for chapter 16. And it kind of in the way it fills in the gap, basically, it sets up that very thing. First you have Victor, where he basically shows off his airship, and it later turns out at the end of the episode, I will get to how this airship is significant. I thought this was the only appearance of this airship, but no, it appears in the very end of the episode. I will get to that. So, it's like, I'm going to have my thing basically to deal with this particular thing. So he goes through this weird digital portal. Yeah, the show doesn't explain it all. He just walks through. It's like something with time space. It's kind of weird. And he goes see Armando, because it's mentioned that his regenerative powers are disintegrating. He's basically slowly dying. So excuse me. So he goes to see Armando, and then of course he talks to him for a while, and of course I mentioned what happened with of course, and then we have some interest now when we see Armando. This is technically his anime debut, making his debut surprisingly just before his debut in the action manga, which kudos. Gory's not the only one who makes his anime debut this episode. Oh no, he's not the only one. Of course, Victor fakes a seizure, and then he's called away by Delta. Yep, we see her first appearance in the anime. Now, I did hear online that this particular look for Delta did get a lot of flack online for people who are fans of the Boruto manga, that people didn't like the fact that they changed her look. But yeah, I mean, in the color page, basically her hair is picked as green. For some reason here, she's picked as a blonde. I'm not really sure why they changed her hair color for. Aside from that, her look doesn't really change all that much, except they actually show her back for the first time ever, because her back has never been shown in the manga that I could think of. Or, of course, they kind of look like it's partially exposed, and look like there's a big caution button on the back of it, which I thought that was kind of weird. I know she's sort of a scientific tool in a way. They don't really properly explain it, except the fact that Victor made her that way. And Victor's called her to see her because she wants to fix her leg. It's never calculated properly. And then he goes visit Joggin. Yes, Joggin. Now, Victor, meanwhile, who had faked this seizure, just had briefly put himself in a coma, so he takes out his bug. Yes, his bug, where it basically flies around, figures out where the vessel is. Yeah, this vessel, I will explain a little bit who this possibly be, because all this is just set up for the next arc. So, this thing apparently takes pictures of this thing, and apparently decides to... Apparently this thing has a USB drive. I thought that was kind of interesting. I guess Victor is that much of a genius, so he apparently copies the entirety of the data for the vessel, and apparently it's in phase 3. Okay. Fine. He's like, this would get info basically either to blackmail Joggin or probably just create destroy him. Okay. And then we see that Joggin apparently has figured out that the vessel's in phase 3. He's like, why are you telling me? And of course, Armando gives a pretty plausible explanation. I don't want to give you false hopes. I want to make sure we can have accurate data on this. Which I can tell from what way Joggin's reaction is. He accepts that. He has no problem with the thing. And they figure out a location to transport it to test on the surface. Okay. And then Victor shows up as, I got a recommendation for how to do that. I'll take care of transportation. And what, you over here? Sorry to eavesdrop your conversation, but I have a way to transport it there. And they're like, how? My airship, which cannot be detected by the shinobi, because they mentioned that they're basically about taking the shinobi. And then they show that after having a conversation, that it's agreed that Victor will transport it, but 2 conditions. 1, Victor cannot be on board, and 2, it has to be basically more control, whatever. So Victor has no problem with it at all because he says he doesn't have much time left. Okay, fine. And then we see Jock and Armando and Delta seeing this thing, and well, Armando is impressed. Like incredible stealth abilities. Then we have these robots. Yes, robots. Which I'm like, these look familiar. I'll get to that. And they transport the vessel on board. And Victor are like off at a distant location. Don't know where he is. But apparently then we think they fly in the air. And it basically sort of cloaks. Yeah, it cloaks. Basically, so that's what it basically cloaks it. And this thing apparently flies over the Hidden Elite Village. Yet it forms a shadow right over the Hokage Mount. But before it gets to the end here with the shocking cliffhanger with this, we do cut to briefly Boruto, Team 7, where they're receiving their very first accommodation for resolving the string of incidents in the Land of Valleys. And it's also revealed that Boruto wants to spar with his father, and the fact he also wants top rank missions, tons of them. And it's like, and of course, Naruto eventually agrees. He's like, I'll promise to do that. Yeah, that promise sets up what happens in chapter 16. Yep, I like the fact they set that up there. And then we see Boruto at the end, like, next to see Boruto by himself, where he takes up his bandages and sees his little mark on his hand. But oddly enough, next episode has nothing to do with what happens next. Oh no. Yeah, I'll get to that. Then we see the blimp where it's flying. Of course, Victor has reprogrammed it, where it can change course. And then apparently, when he just automatically changed course, there's all of a sudden when the engines explode, and the thing starts crashing, and then we see that keep showing this particular vessel, and you don't see what it is, but apparently like a little keypad thing, which by the way, numbers are actually depicted in English, which I thought that was kind of weird. I would think though, because it's a Japanese show, they would have numbers in Japanese, but no, the numbers actually are in English, which I thought that was kind of interesting. And it turns red, and that apparently caused thing to crash, and that's where the end of the episode. I gotta admit, damn good episode, great setup for the very next arc, and this episode felt very necessary. It doesn't contradict anything, no characters die, and great setup for the next arc of the series. Now, if you're curious still about this airship, I remember because this airship did pop up in the AO arc, and I believe this is the same airship that crashed that Konohamaru and Muguto was sent to investigate in that arc. And the robots on board are the same ones they battled in the arc. And who was inside the vessel? Well, we're going to have to wait. I'm not going to spoil who's inside that vessel. Unless you read the manga, you know exactly who's inside that coffin. Because, well, I'm not going to spoil what it is. If you haven't read the manga yet, read it because it is quite a shocker of who's inside that casket. But, great episode. Now moving on, news chapter manga, That's Reality. Where it's a cover featuring Kawanaki in color. Yes, I believe this is the first I picked in color, though the way the color scheme looks, it looks like the same color scheme they're going to use for the anime for when he finally shows up in the series. And then we see that Kawanaki is showing up in the battlefield from way it was last chapter. Like, hey, Kawanaki. And we see that Chikahamaru, Amando, Sumri, and the scientist. I forgot this guy's name. It's like when it happened, of course, they figured out that he's been transported. And it's something else, it's Sumri. Seen for 2 panels. This whole chapter. Great character. Yep. And you see that he actually is there. So, okay. So I mentioned about 5 minutes worth to regain karma. And then, of course, well, then Issei just starts punching Naruto in the gut. And apparently it looks like it takes his power. And he turns back to normal. He doesn't die. It looks like it just basically drains him of chakra. I don't think it's completely, because if he was completely draining of chakra, he'd be dead. Doesn't run. He runs away like, oh, you can't escape. and we see like don't struggle. And we have looks like he has hand around Kwanki's neck, and then Sasuke for some reason. Like what? Apparently Sasuke swapped places with him, and and it throws a smoke bomb, and Sasuke to the side. By the way, Boruto does nothing this whole chap. Well, actually, he doesn't do anything until like the very end, which I'll get to that because that's a shocking cliffhanger that is. Like, won't track the Byakuyan. Yeah, he uses Byakuyan to track him, and he's like wondering what the heck where he is, and then he looks like he does find him. So Isaki basically just looks like he hits Naruto, and looks like the arm is popped off. Of course, he keeps kicking Naruto, like threatening to kill him. See, there's like a flashback. It looked like Kwanaki when he was at the headquarters of Kara. Looked like he's about to be hit with the chakra rod by Jagan. And then he basically looks at his arm. And it flashback what happened like 10 chapter a while ago. Like before chapter 30 when Naruto says to make him a student. Like when he comes right out. And he basically fires like a fire blast at him. Looks like the firebolt jutsu. And it looks like though he holds him, look like he's about to kill him. Like rather die, and of course look like he drains him. But nope, it's not really him. Like what the heck happened? Look, my life runs out. So close. And we see it look like what the this karma, it's mind tell me how much longer you can cling to your existence? Seconds? Mr. Gosu, what have you done? And, well, he basically has all the power of a shadow clone. He calls it Shadow Doppelganger Jutsu, basically shadow clone jutsu. Like Kwanaki. Seems like you want to say something, but it doesn't matter. You're gonna die. Totally outsmarted and beaten by a mere vessel. So whatever that is, that's your reality. And it looks like, though, that Isagi apparently dies. Well, the creature that he was host to dies. Everything looks like it's about over. And then Boruto comes completely out of nowhere. And he stabs Sasuke in the eye. And everyone's like, Boruto! I never thought you actually be Isagi. But good. You're the only nuisance left. Like, what? Wow. He hasn't done this in several chapters. Where Boruto does this. Grows a freaking horn. So apparently it looks like that Momoshiki has taken control of him. Like, wow. So after being unconscious the whole chapter, he apparently has turned into this. Wow, what an interesting way to end a chapter. And we get the chapter roughly a 10 out of 10. Yeah, it also seems as though the last time I viewed a chapter or something like this happened, like, I got like a ton of reviews for that one, so I'm hoping I might have on this one too. Yep. Excuse me. All in all, fantastic chapter, and I give this one roughly a 10 out of 10. Another 10 out of 10 because it's just a damn good chapter. So yeah, that's it for Sick Up You, and it's probably gonna be a video today. Unless somehow I get another comic order on today. Yeah. But tomorrow, expect to see one video for tomorrow. Tuesday, one video. And then, like, probably not a video again until maybe Friday. Where it's going to be, like... Well, unless, of course, I get another book from Monster Doctor. But in the case of regular anime reviews, well, there might be a review tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Friday. One, maybe. That's probably going to be... Here's Have the Apprentice. That one's going to be a maybe. But is there one Trigger Legend? Nope, not that one because that season is over. Yeah. So, yeah, so hopefully videos on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. So, yeah, so until the next video, which may be Comic Corner. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.